Hello and welcome to an unusual unboxing. There's no Runa today. He's off out. So it's me, Warren. I'm going to fill in for Runa. But today I have my lovely colleague, Ronald. Why don't you introduce yourself, Ronald?
Hello. Yeah, I'm Ronald. Working from home from the Netherlands. And yeah, part of the 9.2 release includes a lot of new features that I worked on. So that's
he was quite
what I
active in
wanted
terms
to show.
of this release. So yeah, let's. I'm going to jump in and share my screen, and we can take a look at the blog post.
Cool.
So first things up, a new thing that's come to 9.2 is package telemetry. So we're actually, this is kind of in a preparation stage, if I'm right, Ronald, that we're getting ready to collect this data in terms of what packages are installed in Umbraco installations. So this is very exciting in terms of, I think it's very exciting in terms of, at least we'll start to get some accurate numbers in terms of what packages are installed and how many installations and things like that. You can see an example here that Runa's put in the blog post in regards to what telemetry data we're going to send back home to us, HQ. There's nothing evil that we're tracking. You can see that it's all randomized. There's nothing personal that's being overly tracked. And as far as I know as well, that it mentions in this this mention of the blog post is that you can opt out as a package developer or vendor. You can say, please don't track my package if that's something you wish to do. It's all documented here. Package telemetry is very, very cool. Anything else to add or no? Ronald,
like you mentioned, it's currently not, it's already sending out the data to an endpoint, but it's not storing the actual telemetry data yet. So that's something we are going to add. And this is just the preparation for the actual data collection.
Yeah, and obviously you work on the package team as well. So I assume this is coming in a bigger scope of things in regards to marketplace or package repository next round.
Yeah, so we're trying to find a good way to also share this data back to the community or the package authors as well, because that's the actual value of having this data. So people, know which combinations of versions of their package and Umbraco CMS are being used and how active those installations are. So it's very useful data.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is going to be interesting to see. Yeah, I have obviously come from the package development world in the Umbraco community. So yeah, it's something that I know that I've always wanted, and kind of get this out the box with Umbraco, it will be fantastic. So very, very nice. I'm going to do a demo of Markdown for property descriptions. So as it mentions here, Soren Kottel, our lovely Umbraco MVP that's always active in these releases at the minute, has added support for Markdown in property descriptions. So let's go over to the back office. This is a 9.2 site. And I'm going to make sure I've already got a document type even. So rather than watch me type, I've just got a snippet to paste. So you can see that I've grabbed header is supporting bold with double asterisks, and then we've got a single asterisk for italics. And then you can see this it's a bit hard to maybe see on my screen, but if I zoom in a little bit, you can see there's a double dash. And that is a support for read more. It's obviously not a markdown thing, but obviously specific to Umbraco. But then we've got support for images and links as well. So if I save this change and let's go and create a piece of content, you can now see that I've got some more contextual information. So I can say that this is the header or whatever. And then I can click this read more. So that was what that double dash was doing. So I can click this to toggle. In my case, I've added a GIF to say, if you've got problems, still call me. Or I don't know, maybe click a link to watch a video. Or in this case, our favorite Rickroll. But yep, Obviously, use it wisely. Maybe don't spam it with loads of stuff. Maybe this is a bit overkill, but you get the point. We support images, we support links, and then obviously anything that doesn't make sense to be in that first initial part of the description makes sense to be under that README. So you can see that we can just toggle that away.
Yeah, probably a good use case of hiding GIFs.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think clients probably want to see GIFs all the time, but yeah, you get the point. Maybe there was, I don't know, an image of the page layout or something, and I don't know, a big arrow or something red highlighting kind of this is the part of the page that you're going to be editing. I don't know. I'm sure there'll be some interesting use cases. Yeah,
this makes the description much more useful for editors as well.
Yeah, I think we might have accidentally killed, what was it, Mark's package? Is it you editor notes or something, or sticky notes? So
that's
sorry,
very
Mark,
related. I think contentment also includes a similar editor, and the benefit is probably that this won't add additional properties to your document type, and
exactly,
just the same place where all the other descriptions are placed as well.
Exactly. So next up in the blog post, again, another contribution by Soren. Thanks again, Soren. I know that he has tidied up the log viewer. I won't go into the back office to show you too much, but in regards to, it was more styling and tightening up the UI. So for example, I think when you had a long log message, this line, rather than being a line top to the top of the message over here, it was kind of either weirdly placed towards the middle or the bottom and just kind of looked a bit odd. So kudos, Soren, for tidying up the log viewer and making sure it all just kind of looks nice. Next thing up is that we got a new health check in the back office. So this is ensuring that we have the Umbraco application URL set. And obviously that we've got some documentation or link here in terms of how to set it, in terms of configuration, in terms of app settings or environment variables. But yeah, this is more to do in regards to the emails that get sent out from the back office. It's ensuring that the URL is the correct URL to be sending emails from. Is that right, Ronald?
Yeah. So that's basically the primary URL of your Umbraco instance, and it's also used for the keep alive ping it does, and basically it's a good recommendation to have it set to a fixed URL instead of having it automatically figure out what the URL should be instead. So
perfect.
Yeah,
cool. I think that was a list of my demos before I hand it over to you now. So I'll stop sharing screen and we can talk about member properties.
Yeah, some things I can show for the changes in the member properties or member section, basically, because in 9.1 you could have a member setup that includes like properties for login, email, your password, and the member groups. And with the introduction of tabs, it was possible if you change this member type and, for instance, add a tab to this field and then probably have to reload. You can see the fixed member properties are now within a generic tab, and there was no way of moving those over to a different or the only tab that was on the actual member type.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's was something that bothered a couple of people, and was also a bit strange to have the member specific properties shown as part of your
yeah, it's not really
member
editable
data.
content, is it? Really, I think it's a bit confusing.
Yeah, so those 4 properties are not stored as content, but on the actual member table. And that's now fixed in the 9.2 release with a separate content app that basically extracts those properties from the content itself into its own content app, and all the other membership related properties are then still visible on the content app. And if I add a tab and probably have to reload again, you can now see it just shows the additional tab, and all those member specific properties are still in its own tab over at the member content app. So I think that makes working with tabs and members a lot easier. Gives you more control as an implementer to use tabs and groups, and make sure that works as expected.
So I think the next thing mentioned in the blog post is updated dependencies, or in this case, ImageSharp .web. So have you got any demos to kind of show what's kind of changed between now and?
Yeah, so this is a change that basically already happened in the 9.1 release. In the 9.0 release, you could end up with images that don't have the background set to the color you want. For example,
okay, so I can see in your query string you've got BG color equals white. Yeah,
so this you're probably expecting to have it filled with a white background, but in the previous version of ImageSharp.web, the order of applying the image transformations was not using the order of your query string. So it first applied the white background, then expanded the image using the crop processor to make it bigger and square. And that ended up having the background only apply to the actual image itself and not the whole final cropped version of the image. So I did use the same query string on a 9.1 site, and you can see here the background color is applied to the final image because that's the last item in the query string. So you get the correct final image. And just to show, if you change the order of the query string to first apply the white background, you basically end up with the same image that the 9.0 release also did. Okay. So this makes it behave similarly to how Umbraco 8 and image processor also applied the image transformations by using the order of the query string. There's one thing, I don't know if the blog post specifically mentions this, it does in the pull request, that if you already have a site created in 9.0 and this image was already created, it gets cached by ImageSharp, and then you might want to clean up your cache or make sure the URLs have a different version. So it requests the new image, and you get the actual expected result. So that's something to also keep in mind.
Oh, let's see if there's anything else left in this lovely 9.2 blog post. So we talked about member properties moving to a content app. Very nice. And we talked about the ImageSharp dependencies. So I think now, as always, as Runa does, when I chat to him on unboxing, we reach out to the community contributors. So you can mention here, we've got 59 bug fixes, so very nice. And 41 of them has been by the community. So I still love that open source is very active, and this is not just us internally fixing and adding features to the CMS. So this is a great collaboration with the community.
Yeah.
So
and some new first pull requests as well.
Yes, exactly. So let's do a couple of shouts out. So there's Rasmus Soderstrom, I'm guessing. Apologies for any pronunciations. And then we've got Tyler Vanderley. Do any of these names, or the new names at least, if you've been looking at the code base, do these names ring any bells in terms of PRs coming in?
Yeah, there are a lot of familiar names, but yeah, a lot of new people that have joined the contributions to Umbraco. So
perfect. Cool. And I think, as always, when Runa wraps up, is just to mention where best to go and get Umbraco 9.2. The easiest place and the best place, as always, is Umbraco Cloud, just because you can create an instance of Umbraco very quickly just by using the portal and clicking a few steps. Obviously, if you want to upgrade in Umbraco Cloud, then Runa's mentioned some steps here in terms of how you can do that as well. Obviously, as we're an open source project, it's also published on NuGet as well. So that's it. That was Umbraco 9.2. Was there anything we missed, Ronald? Anything we want to add?
One thing came to mind regarding Umbraco Cloud, and basically Umbraco Deploy with the 9.2 release. It included a new permission to enable or disable setting up notifications for content events. So if you, for example, save or publish a specific content node, you can set up notifications. And accidentally, that permission that uses the same permission letter as the deploy queue for transfer. So we'll send out a patch for deploy to fix this as soon as possible. But people that already have upgraded to 9.2 will probably notice that the queue for transfer option is missing from their installation. So there's already a workaround posted on the deploy issues repository. And as I said, we'll make sure to patch this up in the next release.
Okay, so very shortly a patch will come in for deploy and rolled out to Umbraco Cloud projects. Perfect. Cool. Yep, the joys of legacy code, and when we have strange permission letters, there's only so many characters on a keyboard. It was bound to happen one day that we clash.
Yeah, and there is also a documentation pull request open that will update the documentation to have a complete overview of the permission letters that are used by the CMS, by deploy, and also if third-party packages use permissions, I would invite them to also make sure to check if they use conflicting letters as well, and update them if possible, or just make sure the documentation PR is updated to also include those permission letters. So you won't get any conflicts between packages or the CMS itself again.
Cool. So I think we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining, Ronald. Some great demos, interesting release for Umbraco 9.2. Obviously, the blog post has been out a little while already, so this video is going to come out a little bit late, but no worries. So yeah, the next release is going to be coming on the release train very soon anyway, so watch out for that. Thanks for joining, Ronald. I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.